stop trusting external opinions over your own opinion. Everyone has their own perception of you, and everyone's perception is completely distorted. How could you trust someone's opinion of you if they haven't spent a day in your body? They don't know what it's like to be you, they don't know who you are. They don't know what your intentions were, and you're still trusting them. You're still trusting their opinion over your opinion. You're still trusting their perception of you. If I tell someone something, they could say, oh yeah, I understand, but they could totally not understand, and they could go and retell what I just told them to someone new, and because they perceived what I said as something entirely different, then they could completely distort that and tell that to someone else. And just the way that they distort that, it everything in your life is just completely distorted through others' eyes. Nobody is ever going to truly understand you. Nobody is truly going to have the correct idea of who you are in their minds because they have their own perception of you. Just like how your friend is going to view you as that's your friend. Like if I'm your friend and I'm viewing you, my perception of you is you are my friend. I think this about you. I think you're this way. I think you're lazy. I think you're this. Whereas your father or your mother could think, oh yeah, that is my son, that is my daughter, and they aren't lazy. They're actually struggling with burnout. They're actually struggling with this. And they have a whole different perception of you and who you are as a person. And the thing with perception is that it's hard to grasp that nobody is ever going to understand you, but once you do actually grasp it, your whole life will change. Your whole life will completely and drastically change because once you stop seeking approval outside of yourself, your life is going to change. If you keep listening to everyone's opinions of you, what everyone thinks of you, what everyone thinks you're going to accomplish, what everyone thinks your future looks like, what everyone thinks that you act like, or all that stuff. Has anyone ever came up to you and said like, oh yeah, when I first met you, I thought you were really mean? That was their perception of you. Maybe you guys are best friends now, but they used to think you were mean. Like that was their perception of you, and it probably wasn't true. Maybe it wasn't true because that is their perception. I think that's a very good example of perception. Is ask what people used to think of you. And you will see it is very different from what they think now because they had a different perception of you. Maybe they didn't talk to you as much, so they viewed you in a completely different way. And maybe the more you open up to people, the less they get you. And that's completely okay too. The thing with perception is if you went in a movie theater and in every single movie theater there was a screen of how someone views you, you could walk into, for example, your mother's movie theater of how she sees you. You could look at that screen and you will see a completely different version of what you look like. You will see a completely different version of everything you say. You'll see a completely different version of every single thing, and you'll think, wow, this is not me at all. That is not how I act. This is not what I do. You'll think that, and then you'll think, I'm not watching this movie anymore. And you'll walk out of that movie theater and you'll walk into a new one. You'll walk into your best friend's movie theater, their perception of you. You'll look at that screen. You'll see a completely different version of you than was your mother's, movie. And you will see completely different things that they think are coming out of your mouth. And you will see all that because that is their perception of you. So if everyone's perceptions of you, if every single movie theater plays a completely different movie, then why would you try to please everybody's perceptions of you? Why would you even attempt to change their perception of you to be what you deem the correct one? And even if they do get it, aren't you always changing? Aren't you continuously changing who you are, what your values are, what your morals are, what kind of person you are, your habits, all that stuff? It is ever changing. Nobody is ever going to have the perfect perception of you. Nobody's ever going to get you 100%. So now with different perceptions also comes different points of view on different situations. So have you ever gotten into an argument with someone and thought, I wonder who's in the right and who's in the wrong? The answer is there is no right and wrong. There is just different perceptions of what happened. So I can't really think of a good example for this, but you can probably think back to a time where you had an argument with someone, but you thought maybe I'm completely in the right here. I am completely in the right. But that person also probably thought I am completely in the right. And the truth is, none of you guys were probably wrong. None of you guys were right. It's just different perceptions of the argument. So for example, if I'm failing school and I think, oh my God, I'm struggling with so much burnout. I need so much help with this. Like, oh my God. And then my mom also sees that and she's like, oh my God, my kid is failing. She's going to be mad at me because she's going to see, oh my God, my kid is failing. And I'm going to be mad at her because I think I'm struggling with so much. I'm struggling with burnout. I'm struggling with all these mental health problems. And all that she sees is that I'm failing school and she's yelling at me. She's not even supporting me. But my mom, she might see, oh, my daughter is failing school. She's going to be a failure in life. She's not going to graduate high school and she's going to fail. It's just different perceptions. It's not right or wrong. It's just different perceptions of situations. And once you have the awareness that everybody has different perceptions of different things, you will get so humbled by knowing that you're not in the right and you're not in the wrong. It's just different perceptions. And that is the most crazy thing to comprehend, is that you aren't right. Like, you aren't right, but you aren't wrong in this situation. It's just different perception. And the way to get past different perceptions in arguments especially is to try to view the other person's perspective. Maybe ask them, like, why do you feel this way about this situation? Maybe I can explain to you how I feel and you can explain to me how you feel, and we can come to a sort of compromise. So with the whole I'm burnt out example and my mom's yelling at me because I'm failing school, then maybe I could say, well, why do you feel that I'm going to be a failure in like life? And she'll say, because you're failing school. And then I'll say, okay, but do you also realize I'm burnt out? I'm struggling. I need help. And then she'll say, oh, I didn't know that. Or hopefully she would. She'd say, oh, I didn't know that. Like, maybe we can get you the help you need. And, I'm no longer mad at you because I know that you're not just failing school because you're, this way. I know that you need help and you're asking for help, and our perspectives meet at the middle, and we can redirect the conversation to help us both, to help you understand me and to help me understand you. And once you understand that, your arguments will end like that. The problem is that you could understand that and the person you're arguing with might not, which is a big issue. But as long as you understand that it's just perspectives, you have the ability to walk away from a conversation thinking, okay, I tried to meet with this person in the middle, but they are not, so I'm going to end this conversation because it is wasting my energy. So along with perceptions comes expectations. Expectations for who people want us to be. And we might even follow that. We might even follow who people think we are. Like, if someone tells me, like, I am this way, or like if someone goes to me and they're like, you are this way, you're really nice, and you're just so sweet. I've never met anyone as nice as you. And like, but deep down I'm thinking like, dude, I'm like the meanest person ever, Like, that's their perception of me, but I don't think it's accurate. But I could be like, oh, maybe I am nice, and vice versa. I could be like the meanest person in the world. The nicest person in the world, and someone could come up to me and say like, oh, you're the meanest person in the world, and I could think, oh my God, is that true? That has to be true, because like, I don't see myself every day. Like, I've never seen how I act, so like, they have to be right. They have to be right. I have to be like the most meanest person in the world. Or if someone calls you stupid, you might think, oh my God, I really must be the most stupid person in the world. And you might even do things to ensure that you're stupid. If you believe you're stupid truly because someone told you that and they were effective in breaking your integrity and telling you that you're stupid, you might even believe that you're stupid and do things just to ensure that you're stupid. You might even miss classes or not do school, or, things that you deem stupid. You might do those things because people were effective in doing that. So now what I want you to take away from this is that everybody has different perceptions of who you are and what they think you should be and who they think you should be and how they think you should spend your life. But if you continuously chase what people want for you, you are never going to be truly happy, because you are just giving people what they want and not what you want. You are going to have the biggest identity crisis of your life, because people are writing your story, people are writing your personality, people are giving you all these opinions about who you are, what they think would be good for you. And if you listen to that, you are going to have a personality built on everyone's opinions of you, and that is going to be so unstable. And no matter what anybody tells you, you're going to believe it, even if it is completely not who you are. And deep down, you'll kind of know. So how to stay away from this, I would say, is question everything everybody tells you. So like, if someone tells you that you're stupid, question it. Be like, am I really stupid? Do I think I'm stupid? Do I act stupid? Do I do this? Question it. If someone says they think you're gonna be a failure, you can think, because they might just see, oh, this person's not doing good in school. You could think, yeah, this person sees I'm not doing good in school, but like, I have a business idea. Like, I'm actually starting a business on the side and I'm doing all this stuff. So Question everything people tell you and rewrite your own story. Have your own perception of yourself, because you spent how many years with yourself, doing how many things with yourself. You know exactly who you are and what your intentions are. Stop listening to everybody's opinions of you, everybody's perceptions of you, because they are never going to be true. And start aligning everything you do with who you are. Start aligning every single decision you make, every single career choice you make. Some people will listen to their parents' opinions about their career, something so big in their life that is going to take up probably the whole big space of their life, and they will listen to their parents' opinion on what they think their career should be. They will take that opinion and they'll be miserable throughout their whole career because they listened to that. And they will be miserable because they listen to all these opinions about them, even though none of them are true, and it is just opinions. And the same way people have untrue perceptions of you, you also need to realize you have untrue perceptions of other people. So you might think something about someone, it's not true. You are never going to know anybody, and nobody is ever going to know you, and you need to accept that. You can come close. You can come close knowing people. You could come close to people knowing you, but you are never truly going to know someone. You're never truly going to know what they're going through. And the thing with what someone's going through is that you could see something someone's going through and think, well, yeah, people have it way worse, and like, I have it way worse than them. But to you, what they're experiencing might be like a level 1 on the thing, and then for them, it's like a level 10 because they don't deal with that stuff often. So what is might be insanely easy to deal with for you is insanely difficult for them. And that is just a perception thing. I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, but perspectives are also the reason why we judge ourselves and we compare ourselves to other people. So you might see someone on social media who has the perfect life. You perceive them this way to be perfect, and they're actually not. But in your head, you can't think of any way they could not be how you imagine them to be. Just like how people might imagine you to be a certain way, and then you end up to not be that way. So redefine your perception of you and accept that nobody knows you and you don't know anybody either. You might expect someone to be a certain way, and as soon as they aren't how you perceive them to be, you'll get mad. You'll get mad because, for example, if you have a boyfriend and you perceive him to be this certain way and he does something that is not what you expect him to do, or just not who you perceive him to be, you might get mad because he's not playing the role that you want him to play, positive or negative. You might be mad that someone isn't you're doing what you expect them to do, that they're not playing that role that you have created for them in your minds. And that happens to you as well. I can almost guarantee people have perceptions of you and they get mad when you break them. Like, my mom might have a perception that I need to do amazing in school, and when I don't do that, because she expects me to do it in school because maybe I had straight A's all my life, and she expects me to do good, and she expects me this because she has this perception of me that I will only ever get straight A's. So the second that I don't get straight A's anymore, I won't fit into that little box that she caged me in of her perception of me, and she will get angry at me, or she will just get upset or maybe uncomfortable by the fact that I didn't fit what she thought that I was. And it is a very uncomfortable thing to think somebody is one way and have them not be that way, which is why we need to not even label them in the first place. So I want you to take away that nobody knows you, you don't know anybody. Quit labeling people. People are going to label you, but it starts with you. Don't label people. Don't judge people. Don't start gossip. Don't create rumors. Don't do any of that stuff. Just do what you want, because nobody knows you. Nobody knows what's good for you, what's going to benefit you long term. Nobody knows what makes you happy. Nobody knows what makes you absolutely insanely miserable. I hope that this awakened you a little bit to see that the world doesn't revolve around what your perception of people is and what their perception of you is. So once you let go of what they think of you, what you think of them, you will achieve freedom. You will achieve freedom. If you enjoyed this episode of Wild Roots, then subscribe, comment. The comments are an absolute safe space on my YouTube channel. And I will see you next week on Monday morning at 7 o'clock a.m.